Hello, this is the Morning Breach with Scott Davis. The Ponemon Institute has released its 15th annual Cost of Data Breach Report, and the numbers shouldn't be shocking. With 3,200 individuals interviewed from 524 organizations across 17 industries and 17 countries that have experienced a data breach from August 2019 to April of 2020. The examined data breaches were between 2,400 and 99,730 compromised records. It's important to note that this report ended before the spike of COVID-19 related phishing attacks and data breaches. Although the report did note that 76% of the organizations surveyed predicted that remote work would make responding to potential data breaches much more difficult, which we are seeing to be true across the industry. Regardless, at the core, the report found that the average total cost of a data breach was $3.86 million. That average cost includes detection and escalation, lost business, notifications, and the ex-post response. With forensic audits to communication, from business downtime to tarnished reputations, and the cost of communicating with consumers which had data breached while providing new credit cards, credit monitoring, or simply paying fines and legal fees. You can see how the cost can climb pretty quickly. Interestingly, that average total cost actually was 1.5% less than found in 2019 study. But as ransomware evolved throughout 2020, from ransomware to the now extortionware, we find the majority of ransomware strains in the wild today are extracting data off your network or device before encrypting the data to ensure a payout, even if your backups are solid. So next year's report should show a dramatic increase. Healthcare led industries with the highest average cost, which is likely due to the established laws protecting and penalizing organizations for allowing a breach to occur. Personally identifiable information was the most compromised type of data, where 80% of the breaches included PII in some form, with each PII record averaging $150. 1 in 5 companies, or 19%, that suffered a data breach were compromised via account credentials and or phishing attacks. Malicious attacks registered as the most frequent root cause with 52%, versus system glitches at 25% or human error at 23%. Misconfigured cloud configurations also came in at 19%, but breaches caused by a misconfigured cloud configuration say the average cost of the breach would increase to $4.41 million, or more than $500,000. So make sure your cloud configurations are good on Azure or Amazon Web Services or whatever cloud service you're using. A disappointing but realistic number is that on average it took companies 207 days to identify and then 73 days to contain a breach. That's roughly 280 days for an average life cycle of a data breach. That's more than 9 months. As an industry, we have to find ways to identify and contain breaches faster, and that starts with simply monitoring your systems for changes. The average cost of a data breach has increased 10% since 2014. And I would say it's probably grown another 5 to 10% already in 2020 alone. I say that because the report found organizations subject to more rigorous regulatory requirements had much higher averages than those that did not. We are also seeing many states and regulatory bodies updating their laws and compliance regulations to allow for larger fines and in some cases, even options for personal lawsuits. So I would expect your question here to be, what can you do to really protect your organization? Well, it should start with a third-party security assessment. You don't want to use your in-house team to audit themselves, just like you don't want your current IT vendor to report their own weaknesses. Get a baseline of where you actually stand, and then look at performing annual penetration tests, which is again just a way to validate that your IT team or vendor is protecting you. You are also going to need to work with your technology team and align yourself with NIST foundations and CIS controls. Find your weaknesses and strengthen them. Cybersecurity is not something you should just throw money into, as there are so many tools and services that overlap each other. You need to be strategic with the overlaps and ensure that you don't have 10 tools watching A while B remains open and unsupervised. If you're not sure where to start, comment on the post or message me directly. If you've learned something new by watching this, please take a few seconds, like, comment, and share the video. If you want to see more episodes of The Morning Breach or find useful resources in helping you secure your organization, please visit themorningbreach.com.